Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Bill Littauer. Among the stories we'll be covering on this program, taking a closer look at the drug problem.
The battle of trimming bulging budgets continues.
Larchmont Village Hall looking at $1 million plus facelift.
The town gets a new parking lot for $1. And the sign-up lists are up for recreation programs this spring and summer.
Walters and a hot dog of a story, plus area artists changing gallery pictures.
And a preview of the Fireman's Carnival. Those items and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. First,
the battle of the community budgets continue, and for the latest on the Mamaroneck Village budget with an interview, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Alice Bloom. Alice?
Well, Mamaroneck has made its deadline. April 30th, you adopted a village budget. Beth, what are the salient points or the highlights of this budget?
Well, the original tentative budget was called for a 9.6 increase in the tax rate, and then came another approximately $40,000 in sewer tax that we had, and that upped it up to about a 10% tax increase. But with a lot of hard work on the part of some of the people who work in the village, and with an ad hoc budget committee, we were able to reduce the tax rate increase down to 7.3, which would translate to about $117.60 per thousand assessed value. And I think that is a remarkable achievement given the deadline that we were up against and the little bit of time you really have after the budget comes out on March 20th and having to adopt it in 4 or 5 weeks. We were able to get it down for basically with two things. One was a serendipitous occurrence, which was at one of the budget meetings. I happened to realize when I looked at the court clerk who was in the audience that we had agreed last fall to raise the fines on certain parking violations, and it had in fact was prepared to be noticed as a public law with a public hearing, but that was not done. So as a result, we have lost a good 7 or 8 months of revenue, but we did remember it during the budget process, so we were able to calculate how much we would be getting given the tickets based on last year, and we calculated that on a 10-month basis we would add $108,000 revenue on the revenue side of the budget. Then on the cuts that we made amounted to about $145,000, and that really was a little bit harder to do in some way. We had to take it out of annualizing miscellaneous accounts and the contingency account.
I see. And the capital budget?
The capital budget, we did not vote in a capital budget this year. We decided to do it another way. By law, we're not mandated to have one, and so we will send a management letter to the state, and we were going to review each and every item that ordinarily would have been in the capital budget for justification as they come up during the year.
Very good. Thank you, Beth. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Alice Bloom, and trustee for the Village of Mamaroneck, Beth Hofstetter. The town of Mamaroneck is starting to take a closer look at possibly changing the zoning laws that would affect the 3 golf courses in the area. And it's also picked up a new parking lot. For more on those subjects, I talk with Town Councilman John McGarr. John, there were a couple of major actions taken by the board during the last meeting. First one on the golf courses.
And what action that was taken last week at the meeting was that we set a public hearing for May 16th to discuss an amendment to local zoning laws, which would have a proposal for a 1-year limited development moratorium on the 3 golf courses within the town.
Now, this is really aimed at Bonnie Briar, I presume.
It's aimed in terms of the concern that we've all had on the council in terms of our open space and development of the that open space, and that we want to take the time, and we've in terms of take about a year to do the work to evaluate alternatives, uses and zoning uses for the property, as well as to provide enough time for community input to those alternatives and to that study.
One other subject, the parking lot on Myrtle Boulevard. What will this do for us?
The parking lot at Myrtle Boulevard, the action that was taken last week was really the completion of an agreement and a contract that was done in 1986, where a developer had approached the town in terms of purchasing a piece of property for parking spaces for a building that the developer was building. The town, instead of selling the property, negotiated that the developer would put money in to develop the lot, put lights on. The town agreed to provide snow removal and some street cleaning of the property. And return, the town the town will receive permission to use the parking lot for town residents between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m.
So it's overnight parking for 34 spaces.
For 34 spaces.
Thank you very much.
The arrest a little more than a week ago of 2 teenagers in Mamaroneck, arrested in the Otter Creek Woods on drug charges, has brought the problem of substance abuse close to home and prompted Larchmont Mamaroneck community news producer and sometimes reporter Rita Blockton to speak with some experts.
There have been reports that much younger children have been using drugs, even 7th and 8th graders. While only a few children seem to be involved, the fact that drugs are available and that even a few choose to use them is of great concern. 2 people who really know something about this problem are Brian Coleman and Ann Knoll of the Westchester Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. They did a 30-minute interview with me, which will be shown on this channel in the weeks to come. And here's an excerpt from that program.
We don't have the power to control another person's behavior. However, I think that our role as parents, as adults, is to cause trouble. And what I mean by that is to give accurate information. We can't control for our children to go out and not use, but I want them to think about what I said when they're using it, so that they can't get high peacefully. Okay. The other idea is this: that if you have it's an old saying. I think I've heard that the Catholic Church used to say, "Give us your child for the first 5 years, and they'll always remain Catholic." Right? It had to do with exposure and information. If you give certain amount of information, even if that person goes out and veers off, the idea is that possibly, because we don't know how to gauge this, one day the light goes on, and at least they have the information to draw back on and grab something enough to maybe come and see a professional, or to come back to the parent and say, you know, I think something's going on. But if we never give them the information, it's not there and it's not available to them. And then we go to a young person, right, who's 16 years old, brand new license, excited, rites of passage, now can drive, right, feeling good, drinks a little beer and stuff and drives, and we say, don't you know you can die? At 16 years old, you don't die. You don't feel mortality. You don't. That's not a reality. But I'll tell you what a reality is. If you drink and drive the car here, you won't drive the car anymore.
Right.
We will not let you have the car. Somebody can hear that at 16. Parents and adults need to go get the accurate information. They need to come and get what's accurate, and then we need to maybe address some of our own value system about it. And then be very, very clear as to what we're saying and stand by it.
Now here's Monique Citron with Frank Stylo, youth officer for the Village of Larchmont.
We've heard rumors that LSD and something called mushrooms are going around. What do you know about that?
Well, it's true. Again, there are rumors that they are in our community. Again, I haven't had the opportunity to deal with it as of yet, but there is some strong indication that it is definitely in our community.
So you've heard the same thing?
Absolutely. And of course, the alcohol problem in the community is somewhat more serious than the drugs. And drugs are a minority of youngsters that are handling this drug scene.
What about the alcohol? How deep is that?
That's pretty deep. I think that youngsters are finding that experimenting with alcohol at ages from 10 years old on up, it seems to be the right thing to do. Their parents are not there to supervise them. Unfortunately, our community has a lot of latchkey kids, and they're not someone who's going to be able to be more supervised, and they're going to be running with the wrong crowd, and I suppose they don't feel that alcohol is such a terrible thing to do.
So you're seeing it a lot younger. What would you what would you tell parents and kids about what's going on?
I think that we could try to stop and realize that if cigarettes are our #1 drug killer, just imagine what drugs are doing. Addiction is really somewhat of a serious consequence to all kids, whether you're doing drugs or whether you're doing cigarettes or whether you're doing alcohol. Alcohol and cigarettes are probably the biggest killers in their substance abuse.
Thanks to Rita Blockton and Monique Citron for those reports. Some community news notes: if you use oil to heat your home in the winter and want to get just about the cheapest price for your fuel, you can join the Washingtonville Fuel Co-op. Homeowners in our area are invited to join. It's free. Fuel prices and burner service is well below retail. For more information, call the co-op offices at 698-4633. Bill?
Larchmont trustees are looking at some preliminary estimates for $2 million worth of capital improvements. At the top of the list, renovations for Village Hall that will cost $1.2 million. Other budget items, a new fire engine, expand the Larchmont Library and connect the two wings, and also add parking spaces near the train station.
This is National Mental Health Month, and the Mamaroneck Community Counseling Center on Stanley Avenue has a list of services available to families, teens, and preteens. For information, call 698-7549.
This reminder that the Village of Mamaroneck Rec Department as well as Larchmont have activities, and we'll have highlights of them on a future program. Also, remember to take a good look at the Mamaroneck High School Continuing Education Summer School brochure for some exciting classes or trips. And finally, on this subject, the town and villages can probably use some help and have some summer jobs in a wide range of activities. You might want to check them out.
Even McDonald's had to start with the first one. Well, now a landmark in our area has decided it's time to share a great treat with the rest of the country. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News food reporter Sonny Goldberg has a hot story on a dog of a subject.
Hi, Sonny Goldberg, LMC restaurant reporter here with Gene Warrington with some hot news.
Hot news right off the bat.
Walters is going to be a chain.
My daughter is handling the chain. She started about 2 years ago working on it, and she finally put it together. And I'm just in the background. I'm helping her, in, financially.
Do you have any idea where you're going to and what parts of New York?
We don't know offhand. If you've seen the paper yesterday, it was Felix Petrillo. Now he's looking around for different locations. It probably can go anywhere in New York State, but he'll probably check around Westchester, closer by.
Gene, there's a question that's all of us want to ask, and it's close to our hearts. Is it going to change at all? Is it going to still be the same wonderful Walters hot dog?
Well, it'll be the same original hot dog, but they say the original place is always the original place, and what they make of it, they can make it.
Tell us just in closing, how long you've been here?
The stand has been here since 1928, and originally started on a post road in 1919. I've been here since I was high school. After high school, I was in the service. After the service, I went to school for a couple of years, but then I ended up back here. I've been here most of my life.
So now the rest of New York is going to be lucky because Walters is going public.
Thanks, Sonny Goldberg, for that report and the camera work by Rita Blockton. I wonder if this means, Bill, there will be golden pagoda buildings cropping up on every street corner in America soon.
Well, good hot dogs anyway. The gallery at the town center has now changed its exhibit. It's open to the public, so feel free to come to the town center to browse and enjoy. And we also have the grand reopening of the Mamaroneck Artists Guild. They've moved from Larchmont Avenue around the corner on the Boston Post Road. That's this Friday, May 11th from 6 to 9 p.m. And there's a first birthday party coming up in the next week. Mark down next Thursday, May 17th on your calendar. Here's why.
Hi, I'm Sonny Goldberg, president of the board of LMC-TV. I just want to tell you about a very exciting event that's coming up on May 17th that we hope you all will join us in. Studio 2 at the Emlyn Theater is having its first birthday, which is hard to believe. But we are, and we're going to celebrate it in a very big way. At the Emlyn at 7 o'clock on the 17th, we'll be having cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. At 7:30, a buffet supper. And at 8:30, we'll be giving out awards. The Oscars, the Emmys, the Sullivans, and now we have the Cats, Community Access Television Tribute. Try that 3 times if you want to. Anyway, we're going to be giving out the awards. We have a wonderful keynote speaker who you probably all know, Nita Lowy, who will be talking to us about the state of legislation, cable legislation in Congress, which is terribly pertinent to us and what's happening here at LMC. As well as that, Rita, the new show is getting an award. Rita Blockton, Bill Littauer, and Roger Norum, as well as a show that was done by in conjunction with the Mamaroneck League and the Larchmont League, which is the candidates debate. And the outstanding volunteer for us at LMC-TV is Eileen Deutsch. So we really hope you'll all be there. We're having music, we're having caricatures, we're having an international buffet, and I think you will enjoy it enormously. Join us on May 17th from 7 o'clock on. You'll be sorry if you're not there.
To fill us in on the latest on the school front, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News school reporter Monique Citron. Monique?
Congratulations to our local Merit Scholarship winners, Michael B. Abramowitz, Scott Bazili, and Julie Saline from Mamaroneck High, and Jason Dennis of Rhinebeck High. There were 1,800 winners nationally chosen from 15,000 semifinalists. And finally, remember the Chatsworth Fair, Saturday, May 12th from 10 to 4. See you there.
It's never too early to get ready for the Fireman's Parade and Carnival. That's the highlight of a summer in our area. In fact, you might have already had your doorbell rung by one of the Mamaroneck Village firemen. And here's one of them now, John Paul, to tell us a little more about it.
It's amazing to think that we're ready for our Fireman's Carnival already.
This is our 43rd.
Really?
That's right. We have made it for each year. The people of Mamaroneck go down there and have their big setup. The children love it. We have amusements. There's a complete carnival at this time. It's our one fundraiser every year, and we hope that people will follow up. Our members, we go door to door to your home asking for your help on our canvas of our financial drawing. We hope that you will read us courtesy and ask us questions of anything in Fireman. If we can answer them, we will. Also, the fire trucks will be outside. I'm sure your children will like to go out and climb over them and enjoy it.
The carnival will run 9 successive nights, and there are people who will be like, say, the Village of Mamaroneck has an umbrella day sale. We will have some type of booth there. And then your neighbor or your friends, because we're an all-volunteer fire department. We're not, you know. And featuring in the parade will be Ronald McDonald, Mickey Mouse, and Mickey Mouse, who at the night of the parade will greet the kids and give them gifts of balloons. And
that's terrific. Is that a first?
That's a first, yeah.
Well, I thank you, and I look forward to seeing you there.
We look forward to seeing you
thank you
and bring money.
Interested in a kitten or other pet? Our newest Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter, Lynn Bixler, went over to the Harrison Humane Society and took a look around.
I'm here at the Westchester Humane Society Harrison Division. A few days ago I had occasion to bring a young kitten in and was pleasantly surprised to find that they actually had a list of people waiting for kittens.
This time of year is a good time to call in and adopt kittens and puppies, and of course adult animals we're always trying to get homes for. We're going to start getting a big influx of kittens pretty soon, and we'll be very anxious to have people call us for that.
I hear people say that they're afraid to bring kittens and young dogs to the Humane Society because they're afraid they're going to be put to sleep. What do you say to that question?
Well, I say to people, never fear to bring animals to a shelter, and we have a policy that 95 to 98% of our young kittens and puppies get adopted. Some beautiful dogs in-house now. We have, unfortunately, a gentleman had a death in the family and had to surrender 2 beautiful 14-month-old black lab purebred dogs that are really, really nice and ready for adoption. We get a lot of purebred dogs, along with the nice mixed breeds we do get purebred dogs also for adoption.
Found my dog, thank God. The Humane Society found him for me.
Oh, thank goodness. How long has Coco been gone?
He's gone since yesterday.
Oh, and did you miss him?
Oh, I cried all night. What did you do, Coco? What did you do? You ran away from me?
I suspect that after seeing that report Lynn Bixler just did on the Humane Society in Harrison, some new homes will be found for some lucky animals. And that's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Remember to catch this program every weekday night at 5:45 and around 9:45 or 10 o'clock. Also remember that you can get involved in the fun of putting this news program together. Call the LMC-TV studios for details at 698-6808. The only way we will be able to keep the program going is with your support and participation. Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Bill Littauer. We'll see you again next week at the same time.